Hello and welcome back to Feminine Initiate. I'm your host, Jess West. I hope you're having an incredible day so far. Happy December. We're now the last month of 2025. I can't believe it. This year went by so quickly. How are you feeling about it? Did you have a chance to review everything that you've been through this year and relish in the growth and the learning that you have experienced? Are you ready for 2026? Do you have an idea of what you want to create and bring forth into your life in this coming year? And do you ever feel like you are haunted by your past? Maybe you wanted to accomplish some things this year, or maybe it's been many years, and you just feel held back by your past in a sense that maybe you had something happen in your past, like maybe it was you received a negative comment from someone, or someone did something to you that made you feel a negative way. Maybe you were feeling embarrassed, feeling less than, feeling dumb, feeling disregarded, etc., etc. And no matter how much healing that you did to release this past hurt, to heal this wound, you just can't shake that feeling off. You just can't shake that memory off. And it is negatively affecting how you're moving forward and how you're creating bigger and better things in your life. If you have, which I feel like many of us do, we all have these past wounds, and learning how to actually shake them off is so necessary for us to truly step into that creative role and create the change that we want in our life. And in today's episode, I'm going to share a powerful tool with you that will allow you to completely release your past and rewrite it once and for all. Let me give you a backstory first. Over the past few years, I've done a lot of inner work to rewrite the limiting internal narratives that were holding me back from creating the life that I wanted. And I used many different tools to help me rewrite it. And one of my favorite tools to rewire past experiences is neural energetic encoding. With this technique, we can tap into our unconscious mind to understand how our mind stores our past memories and emotions. And then we can navigate through our timeline to release these negative emotions and limiting beliefs and decisions that were made in our past and reprogram the way that we perceive our future. I've used this technique many, many times when I felt like I kept playing small, whether that be in business or just in life in general. When I lacked confidence and I doubted myself, I use it to rewire the belief that I'm not good at sales, that I'm not enough, not pretty enough, not interesting enough, just not enough in general. And while I was on my timeline doing this technique, my subconscious mind would often bring me back to a moment in childhood. I was about 12 years old. I was selling chocolates door to door, raising money for my grade 8 trip. So I must have been 12 if I was in grade 8. And this one day, I was selling chocolates in my neighborhood with my best friend at the time, who was also my neighbor, which is so fun. So anyway, I was out in the neighborhood with my best friend / neighbor, and we were doing opposite doors to sell our chocolates. And my best friend, I just have to say, she was this cute, blonde, confident, outgoing, talkative, and from my perspective, everyone seemed to love. And then there was me, this introverted, tall brunette with glasses who, I had a growth spurt. So I was among the tallest of my class at the time, and I just felt really awkward for much of my young life. And so anyways, we were out selling chocolates, going to separate houses. And I remember leaving this one person's house, and it was another no for the chocolates. And I was leaving the yard. I saw my friend with one of the boys from our neighborhood across the street. This boy lived just a couple houses down from us. So I walked over to them on the other side of the street. And as I got closer, my friend said, "I just sold another chocolate bar." And I said, "Really? Wow, I haven't even sold one today." And the boy immediately said, "It's because she's prettier than you." And in that moment, my heart sunk. And all I could do is just kind of scoff it off with saying yeah, okay, whatever. But it really stung. Again, I was 12 years old. And I'm pretty sure this boy was 1 year older. So a 13-year-old boy telling me that I basically wasn't pretty. It was total humiliation. And my friend didn't say anything to jump into my defense or anything. So it was just like a really awkward moment. And to be honest, I don't even know what happened after that. We must have just kind of finished the conversation and then continued going door to door. And I'm assuming I must have sold some chocolates that day because I always did sell some. But anyways, that event proved to be the root, or at least part of the root, of so much of the self-doubt that I carried into adulthood. And through this neural energetic encoding technique, I returned to this moment so many times. In doing so, I've gathered so much learning from it and so many different perspectives that I was able to take into my future. So I've grown so much from it. But I always noticed that that event never really went away. And as I said, every time I would go on to my timeline to find the root cause of whatever kind of lack I'm feeling in this now moment, that memory would come back up. And so I started to wonder, like, how much more do I have to learn from this event? Like, I've already addressed this. Why do I keep coming back here? Sometimes I feel like it would almost like halt my experience altogether, because I'd be like, well, why is my mind bringing me back here? Why am I in this moment? I have nothing else to gather. And then I discovered Neville Goddard's revisioning practice. If you don't know who Neville Goddard is, he was a metaphysical writer and lecturer who taught on the power of imagination to create our reality. He's known for his psychological interpretations of the Bible, and one of his most known books is The Power of Awareness. If you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend that book. It's incredible, especially if you want to deepen your understanding of the spiritual perspectives of manifestation. And so his revisioning practice involves revisiting the activities that happened during the day just before going to sleep and making any changes to the events that you would have liked to see happen. And so if there's anything throughout the day that rubbed you the wrong way or didn't make you feel too good, through this practice, you can revise it in your mind and make the necessary tweaks so that you could feel better about that day, feel good, and you can forgive the things that didn't go the way that you would have liked them to through your own conscious correction, because you are the creator of your reality. Only you create it based on your assumptions and your interpretation of what's happening. So that means only you have the power to influence your life based on your assumptions of what's happening on the outside world. And when we really take a moment to understand just how powerful we are in creating our reality, literally, we are defining it, then we understand that we don't have time to waste dwelling in the negative, because by virtue of dwelling in the negative, we're just creating more things to dwell in. And so we really want to take our responsibility seriously. We are responsible for the way that we are perceiving our experiences and the world. What we say goes. We are creating our own personal reality. And here's the thing. The only place that the past exists is in our mind. It doesn't exist anywhere else. There is no concrete evidence of it, because anything that is on the outside world physically is subject to our perception, to our own interpretation. It needs to pass through our own internal filters before it can be defined and given meaning. And so there is really nothing super concrete in its own meaning. We breathe meaning into our life through our own state of mind. I'm sure you could remember a time when you were recalling an event to someone, something that happened in the past. Maybe it was a friend or a family, and you were saying it went one way, and your friend or family was like, oh, really? I don't remember that. I remember it went this way, or no, this is how it went. And how can you prove who's right? Like, you really can't, because the past only exists in your mind. And so you're both right. And so just like I'm recalling this memory to you that I had of me and my friend selling chocolates, my friend might tell something totally different. She might be like, oh, really? That happened? I don't remember that. Like, it really only exists in my mind. And I carried that pain, that humiliation, that self-doubt into my future. And so through this process that Neville explains, the revisioning practice, I rewrote my past. I decided to rewrite that moment in my past, and it caused me such a beautiful, sustainable shift. And now I don't have to keep going back to that memory every time I decide to jump onto my timeline to release anything negative, because that memory no longer exists. And now it's a positive memory. I was able to do that because that is how malleable memories are, because again, they're just held in our mind now. There's no concrete fact, proof of it anymore. It's in our mind. And so here's how I did it. I got into a relaxed state first. So I did some deep breathing, and I allowed my mind to drift back to the day that I was selling chocolates door to door. I brought myself into that moment like I was seeing it through my own eyes. I saw myself closing the screen door of that last home that I went to, that person who just said no to buying the chocolates. And then I began walking down the driveway. I saw my friend with the boy on the other side of the street. And so I decided to walk towards them. When I got closer, I heard my friend say, "I just sold another chocolate bar." And I replied, "Really? Wow, I haven't even sold one today." And then the boy said, "I'll buy a box from you, Jess." And immediately my body stiffened. My conscious mind raced in saying, "That's ridiculous. Why would a 13-year-old boy want to buy an overpriced chocolate bar? Like, he's not the kind of boy who would want to choose a chocolate-covered almond chocolate bar. Seriously, I'm pretty sure he would take something else than that." And so I swear, if I had the sound effect of like, a record going backwards, like it was just like a complete halt. And it was like, what? My conscious mind would not allow it. It felt so untrue to me. And so I thought to myself, okay, you're right. Consciously, how do I make this more believable then? So I figured that what if it's his mom's birthday tomorrow and he decided to buy that chocolate bar for his mom because his mom loves chocolate covered almonds and it's her birthday gift. That is a little more believable. So I went back in, calmed myself again. I redid the visualization. I got to the point where I said, "I haven't even sold one today." And he said, "I'll buy a box from you, Jess." And then I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah, it's my mom's birthday tomorrow. She'll love this." So then I see myself open the box of chocolates so he can take his pick. He grabs the chocolate covered almonds that he wants. He gives me the money and he says, "I'll see you guys later." And he walks away, and my friend and I continue on our route selling chocolates for the rest of the afternoon. And that is my new memory. While I was visualizing this, I could see and I could feel the old memory coming in. It honestly felt like a battle in my mind as I was trying to solidify this new vision. I repeated this 10 times before it began to actually feel easy, like replacing the old image with the new image in my mind and really seeing it through, the new memory that I wanted to feel. And I've been repeating this 10 times a day before bed for the past 3 weeks now. Yes, this is a recent experience, and I'm aiming to do this for 1 month straight to truly set in and create these new neural pathways, since they say that neural pathways are built through repetition. And I also back this scene with emotion. I no longer wanted to feel the humiliation that I felt back then, because this feeling of humiliation created so much doubt later in my life. And so I chose instead, in that moment, when he said, "I'll buy a chocolate from you, Jess," to feel acceptance, to feel friendship. I chose to feel confident for who I am and certainty that I am going to succeed in whatever I do. And I chose to feel gratitude for him and my friend and the people that I have in my life and all the opportunity. And so now when I think back to that moment, This is the memory that I have. It's a memory that lifts me up, that gives me confidence, and allows me to feel deeply supported by others and life in general. I have liberated myself by choosing to revise and rewrite this old, wounded memory. And I wanted to share this story with you today this way to give you a real example of how you can do this for any memory that is bringing you down. Through the process of revisioning, you can recall and revise any conversation or event that happened in your past and make whatever tweaks to that memory that you want to allow that memory to positively influence you in your life moving forward. Because if the past only exists in our mind, truly, because no one else perceives it the same, so it only exists in our mind, if it's a memory that's harming us, we're only harming ourselves. So why not take our power back? And why not use the power of our imagination to rewrite that memory so that it no longer exists? And now we have a moment in our past that allows us to feel empowered, confident, allows us to feel the love, allows us to feel happy, so that we can take those feelings and consciously create a better future for ourselves. And so to recap, I want to give you exactly what you can do in a super simple and clear step-by-step way so that you can take this and apply this in your life so that you can liberate yourself from your past as well. So, first step is to recognize if you feel something negative, anything less than about yourself, about the world, about the future, tune in to that feeling and allow yourself to relax into this moment. Take a few deep breaths and connect with your subconscious mind and ask yourself, where did this come from? Where did this feeling come from? You will be brought to a memory and just recall what happened there. The next step is to then decide what you would have liked to have happen instead. What would make you feel so good? What would empower you? What would build your confidence? So take a moment to think of that scene. Think of what you would have loved to happen. And then once you have that, imagine yourself reliving that moment in your past, but with the new changes you'd like to see instead. And so envision yourself there and replace all of the old with the new that you would like to see. Now, your mind might fight you on this. And if it does, simply restart and keep repeating the process. Just keep going back into the scene, repeating it until it sticks and until you can vividly see the desired memory replace the old. And then allow yourself to become emotionally involved with this. Feel good. Feel those positive feelings. Allow it to generate within you. And then repeat this process at least 10 times daily for the next 30 days to build this new neural pathway of this positive memory. With this process, we no longer have to feel held back by our past. Instead, we can create memories that fuel us, that lift us up, and empower us to fully be in this moment and to build a future that we love. And so I hope this practice resonates with you and you use it if you feel held back by something that happened in your past and like you really can't shake it off. This process should help. It's done wonders for me, and I just had to share it with you. So thank you so much for being here with me today. Seriously, I know the holidays are upon us. Things are happening so fast, and you probably have so many other things to do right now, and it really means the world that you would spend some of your time here with me today. And if I can ask you one tiny favor, if you got something out of today's episode, please share it with a friend or a loved one who can benefit. It'll help me grow the show and at the same time get this transformational information into the lives of others because we all deserve to live our best life. Have a fantastic week, and until next time, be empowered. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to hit subscribe so that you never miss an episode, and I'll see you next time.